Mind mapping is a fun way to encourage reflection and help identify knowledge gaps that could lead to valuable learning opportunities. It's also a proven way to help students gain a deeper understanding of challenging concepts. If you've never used a mind map before, it's basically a freestyle documentation of your thoughts on a particular topic, with lines showing connected ideas or thoughts. What you see here is a simple mind map on the concept of reflective practice. It shows some of the reasons we might use reflection, as well as a few practical applications of reflection to improve practice. Now we'll talk about just a couple of suggestions on how we can use mind mapping to create learning opportunities. First, if we have already identified a concept that our students are struggling to grasp, we can use a mind map to help us identify where the breakdown is in their thought process. We can then address those breakdowns with clearly defined objectives and choose a learning activity that would help meet our objectives. As a reminder, we'll be discussing those learning activities in our next module. Another way to use mind mapping to create learning opportunities is as an assessment of our students' deeper understanding of a particular subject. We might find it enlightening to watch as the student creates their map so that we can see their thought processes regarding the topic. If, as they build their map, we notice some knowledge gaps, we can again address those gaps through targeted objectives and learning activities. Our students can help identify their own knowledge gaps by drawing a question mark on the map when they don't understand a connection, or when they recognize an area that they lack foundational knowledge. Creating mind maps is an easy process that can be done manually with paper and pen or even on a poster board, or you can create one online using a variety of software programs. So here's an example of how you can create a mind map using a free online program called Coggle. The website is coggle.it, and once you're in the site, you sign up to create a free account. Once you've signed up, you'll be able to log in like I'm about to do. And I'll use one of my Google accounts to do it. And once you get into the site, you can start your first map. I've already created one that you saw earlier called Reflective Practice, but let's say we want to create a new one. And maybe we want to start it on exploring a broad topic like evaluation. So you go to the middle of the map and you type in your topic, evaluation. Now you can see the plus marks. This is where you can start adding your connecting thoughts. So let's say we have our students type in the topic in the center of the map, and then we want to see if they have a good understanding of the components of a thorough evaluation. So we start asking them to add those components. They might add topics like history or observation or examination, or any other thoughts that they have on the topic of evaluation and what makes up a good evaluation. As they start filling in the details, you'll be able to determine if there are areas where more instruction is needed. For example, they might go to the history and say, I want to add some details to this, like verbal cues or non-verbal cues, or anything that applies to the history taking. Once they've started adding in details, we can cue them to add as much detail as needed to make sure that they thoroughly explore the topic. For example, as they detail the examination, so they might add things like range of motion, or manual muscle testing, or special test, and so on. So once they start adding these in, you can even have them add details to those by clicking on the plus button for each one. As they do this, you can cue them to go into further details until you feel confident that they possess the requisite knowledge, or until you identify a knowledge gap. Take a moment to pause the video and try out a quick mind map on Kaggle so that you can see how easy and fun the process is. When you're ready, go ahead and start the video again for a quick recap of this topic. So, here are your take-home messages on mind mapping. First, it improves learning outcomes by helping students gain a deeper understanding of challenging concepts. Second, we can use mind maps to help us identify our students' gaps, deficits, and strengths. And third, we can use the identified gaps to write specific learning objectives and choose the learning activities that will best meet those objectives. Doing this will ensure that we create the learning opportunities that our students need. Thanks for listening. Here are the references that we used for this segment.